Hi guys. So in this video I'm going to be talking about Betterdry adult diapers and how they absorb differently than other adult diapers. So adult diapers are medical devices that are used to manage incontinence. I've been incontinent for many years, so I make these videos to help people that might be new to incontinence or just want to know about the different products that are available for managing incontinence. So as you guys know, I'm incontinent, and that's the reason why I started wearing diapers many years ago. And I also wear a lot of ABDL adult diapers because of the really good quality and how much better they manage certain aspects of my incontinence. So something that people have wanted me to talk more about and make a video about is Betterdry adult diapers and how they absorb differently than other adult diapers and how that affects how discreet they are. So Betterdry adult diapers, you can see they're very thin, very thin adult diapers, but they do actually fluff up quite a bit, and they actually have a tremendous amount of the super absorbent polymers inside of them. So long story short, they are very thin when you put them on, but then they swell up a lot. They swell up more than most adult diapers. And so the first thing I'll show you is how much bigger they get, when you fluff them, when you break up the padding. So you can feel, when you do it, you can feel it just double in size. You know what I mean? These things, when you fluff them, which, by the way, these things come very compressed inside of their package, which is why, one of the reasons why they puff up so much when you fluff them. But you can see already, how much thicker they are after being fluffed. They also grow tremendously when they get wet. And one issue that I have with these diapers, and full disclosure, these are my go-to diaper for daytime use. This is the diaper that I wear the most of. I wear these to work 5 days a week. And, I'll also wear them if, I'm going to be in a social situation where I want some extra discretion. But, typically on the weekend I'll wear ABDL adult diapers. Also wear ABDL adult diapers at night because they work really well for me at night. But that's another topic for a different video. These are my daytime wearing to work diaper. And not every diaper is perfect, guys. Different diapers work for different situations, and I have not found a diaper that has every single characteristic that would make it perfect for every situation. So this diaper, why I wear it to work, is because it's relatively discreet, and I'm wording it that way because it's not the most discreet diaper, but it's not super obvious either. Because it is a medical diaper. It's not super wide, it's kind of thin. But the one thing that is not so great about it is that it does not have an acquisition zone. And that's why I have this ABDL adult diaper here to show you what I mean. So if you look on the inside of this diaper, you can see this blue strip down the middle. That blue strip is called an acquisition zone. And what that does is it helps the liquid absorb faster and distribute more evenly inside of the diaper. So I think how it works is it has larger pores right there, and it kind of helps it disperse out, and then it can absorb into the rest of the padding. And what that can do is it can prevent it all from pulling up in one spot, and when that happens, one of two things happens. Either it will swell up a lot in one area and the front will be super wet and the back won't be wet at all, which that's what happens with the Betterdrys. Or it'll pull up in the middle of the diaper and not absorb right away, and then it can end up getting past the leak guards and leaking onto your pants, which is something that I've noticed that with some of the cheaper medical diapers. And one that comes to mind is the Molicare adult diapers. So that's a diaper that I haven't really talked about that much. So as you guys know, my go-to is the Betterdry. Before the Betterdry, my go-to was the Abena M4, which I wore those for several years. Before I wore the Abena M4, my regular daytime diaper, which this was many years ago, was the Molicares. And so they're like blue with some stripes, and those were my go-to. But I had to stop wearing those because they couldn't absorb quickly enough. So these diapers, these Betterdrys, they absorb quickly enough. So I don't have any trouble with leaks. But because they do not have that acquisition zone, what ends up happening is the front of the diaper. Okay, so let me backtrack a little bit. My urinary incontinence, the way it works is I have urinary retention, and once it gets like super full, then it will finally release, but it will release it all at the same time, floodgates open and diaper's wet. It's not like overactive bladder where you lose a little bit of liquid at a time, which I don't have. I've never had that issue, you know what I mean? But some people, they might have, I don't know, like 10 different wettings in one diaper, but they're all very, very small amounts of liquid. I have very large amounts of liquid all at once, and I go a long time before it releases. So my diaper, it's never a little bit wet, you know what I mean? It's either dry or it's just super wet. So I'll typically be able to wet a Betterdry diaper. I'll typically wet one twice. It can go 3 times in most cases, but I try to change after the second wetting. And the way it works for me is that you'll wet it once, and then the front will get all swelled up, but the back will be completely dry. And then once you wet it the second time, the back gets a little bit more wet, but the front remains the same. And that's something that I honestly dislike about these diapers. With that being said, these are still the best diapers that I've found for my unique situation and my body type, my type of incontinence, what I'm doing during the day. These work the best for me, for my symptoms, even though they don't have an acquisition zone. But if these had an acquisition zone, they would be way better. So they would also probably be more expensive. You know what I mean? These are actually very affordable diapers and very, very good deal for how well they perform. I've got very, very heavy incontinence, and these work for me at work. So they absorb quickly enough. They have a big enough capacity for my incontinence. So what I'm wanting to do in this video is I'm wanting to show you guys what these look like when they're dry. Then I want to show you what they look like after one wetting, and then what they look like after 2 wettings. Because that's typically all that I use this diaper for, is 2 wettings. And then I change into a dry diaper. So here's what they look like dry. So I just changed my diaper right before this video. So you can see they look fairly thin, fairly discreet. And you can see underneath my clothes. So bear with me, these are not what I would wear to work. You know what I mean? I would typically wear something more discreet. But they're not I don't have a noticeable bulge. You know what I mean? If my pants is sitting in a certain way, I might have a noticeable bulge, but it's not very noticeable. And these are very indiscreet clothes, but not much of a bulge. So now I'm going to show you guys what it looks like after one wetting. Okay, so here's what it looks like after one wetting. So you can see there's a little bit of a noticeable bulge, but these are, thin sweatpants. These are what I just wear around the house. Under some nice loose-fitting jeans, it's not nearly as noticeable. So as you can see, like the front of the diaper is wet and swollen, but the back of the diaper is still dry. So typically what happens with these diapers is that for me anyway, I've got very large wettings. The first wetting, the front swells up. The second wetting, the back kind of swells up. So this one, it can get about one more wetting in. Like I said, I can typically go 2 wettings with the Betterdry adult diaper, but that's because I have a very large bladder. So you might be a little bit different. You might be able to do many more small wettings. Okay, so here's what it looks like after a second wetting. So as you can see, the bulge in the front hasn't gotten any worse. But now I've got a little bit of a bulge in the back of the diaper. And like I mentioned earlier, the reason why is because there's no acquisition zone. And so that it's all going to swell up in the front first, and then it's going to start absorbing in the back. So, as you can see, the front looks pretty much just like it did after the first wetting, but the back has swelled up in the back. So that's pretty much it for my demonstration of how the Betterdry adult diapers absorb. So now this is the point where I need a diaper change. So I think technically it could probably hold one more wetting, but then you run the risk of leaks. Also, I've got very sensitive skin, and so I don't like to stay in a wet diaper for very long. So that's pretty much it for this video. I hope this is helpful, and I hope this makes it a little bit more understandable as to why you need that blue strip inside of the diaper, that acquisition zone. But you can see these Betterdry diapers, they do create a little bit of a bulge in the front, and then after they get really wet, they bulge in the back. But as long as you these are the diapers that I wear to work every day. And, I'll wear typically a black onesie, although I haven't been wearing that lately because it's been so hot. But I'll wear like loose-fitting dark jeans, and, I'll have my shirt untucked and everything. And it's really not noticeable at all if you have the right clothes. It's only noticeable right now because of these thin sweatpants. So that's it for this video, guys. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and consider supporting me on Patreon. Thanks, guys.